Holy shit, that's a great partnership. Thanks so much for being so open about that. Like, now we can move forward.
You're listening to the Daily Stand-Up by Lifetime Value. Consider this your daily dose of new ideas, fresh perspectives, and/or hot takes as they relate to the worlds of customer success, post-sales, or whatever the hell we're calling it these days, and where we ask each guest one simple question. What's on your mind?
Okay. Let's go. You ready?
Yep.
What's up, lifers, and welcome to the Daily Stand-Up with Lifetime Value, where we give you daily ideas from the customer success space for you to noodle on. JP, do you want to say hi?
What's up, y'all? We noodling.
Rob, do you want to say hi?
Lifers, welcome. Hello.
Alex, would you like to say hi?
Hello. My Fred Rogers mug and I say hi.
Alex, would you like to introduce yourself?
Alex Turkovic. I lead digital programs currently at Flexera, formerly Snow Software, and I'm host of the Digital Customer Success Podcast.
All right. Alex, you know what the deal is. You know what we're doing here. Can you tell us what's on your mind?
Right now, on my mind is probably like one of the undersung skills of people in CS and specifically digital CS, because that's my kind of topic, which is cross-collaboration internally for customer success. It's like an undersung kind of skill set that CS just has to have.
You think it's undersung? I think that's literally all we fucking do. Is
maybe not undersung, but underrated. Underrated is what I should say. Yeah.
Internal, external? What do you?
Yes, absolutely.
All of it.
Internal, because you think about it, this may be vain and kind of biased towards CS, but it's kind of like the hub into which all customer information and stuff kind of flows. You've got partners also that you might need to collaborate with, but literally as a CS leader, but also as a CSM, you got to know how to talk to product. You got to know how to talk to, your pre-sales folks. You got to know how to talk to services. You got to know how to talk to partners and who to talk to at your partners. Like that's the gig, it's being the connector and the collaborator.
You know what I think is interesting, and I'm only now thinking about this now, is that there's an element of politics to the CS role that I don't think we ever talk about, and is as important as you're talking about. I mean, you could call it cross collaboration, but I think a piece of that is knowing, hey, this product guy doesn't like that pre-sales guy because he's always complaining about this one feature, blah, blah, blah. And like, how do you work around all that? Like, that's politics. And could we just add one more thing to the list of stuff?
Let's go.
That CS has to deal with. Now we also have to be politicians. We got to
You think other departments talk about this? Even, do you think product teams, for example, do you think they talk about this? Probably.
It's like we could stack rank the departments in how likely they are to talk about this, with sales being like the bottom one, right?
Yeah. I don't know that product does, because product is the end point, right? Like at the end of the day, the product is why people come to your company, right? So they're the end all be all, the alpha and omega. Sales doesn't give a shit because they so often get to wag the dog, so to speak. I don't know that they are. And if they are, I think they're just laughing.
Yeah. I think the relationship between product and CS is insanely unique, and also it's ironic how often it falls apart, because CS is sitting on this treasure trove of like customer information. We're talking to customers all the time, and a lot of times we try to push like feedback into the product organization and product feedback, but it becomes this ego thing. And invariably it's asked for, at least in my experience, is asked for in like this last minute kind of hurried kind of way when they're trying to get a feature in or whatever. And it's not really productive. It's like this weird it's super weird. I don't know why the relationship between CS and product is so weird, because the connection is obvious between customer feedback, feature enhancement, all that kind of stuff.
I think my experience, I suppose, has been that we in CS are expected to be the mouthpiece of the product organization, and that carries an inherent risk of divergence. So for me, it's like everything in the workplace boils down to incentives in some way. And a lot of times those incentives are misaligned, right? A lot of times product's incentive is to not give timelines or give loose timelines or give timelines that are way out, right? Except in certain organizations where products had variable comp based on the same KPIs that CS did, like retention, for example.
Sure.
But yeah, a lot of times it's funny, if you ever put a product manager on a call with a customer, they end up saying a lot of things that CSMs do because their incentive shifts in that moment, in that setting,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure.
JP, I want to give you a chance to.
Yeah, I was going to ask, what does JP
viewpoint.
have to say about the whole thing? Surely.
Yeah, I think cross collaboration is a nice way. It's almost like saying environmental services instead of janitor. You know what I mean? Because like we end up having to really clean a lot of this shit up. Like, yes, we cross collaborate with everyone, and
Waste
we basically
management.
have all this noise, all this sort of data coming in, and I think the personas is such an interesting exercise because it's a way for us to sort of aggregate our customers in a way that maybe can have more weight to it. So that's what I feel like has always been the rub in terms of with product is they always want to, they're looking for the data. They're looking for how, is this one customer who said this, or is it 10 or is it 100? And so I think part of it is sort of siphoning through what customers say to sort of boil things down and really figure things out. I feel like a lot of what product does, if we're sticking with product, is prioritization. Mm-hmm. There's so many things they want to do with the product, but which things are they going to do first? And I think that customer success managers, we can be really good if we can figure out how to filter through the noise and figure out which problems most likely lead to churn. Those are the ones that need to be fixed first, I think.
Yeah.
I want to add in here, in a previous life, I finally broke through to a product guy, or he just happened to understand a lot of what you just said, JP, around how, I've always said, I don't really give a shit what your decisions are, product. Those are yours to make. I'm trying to give you the data to make informed decisions. And then I got to trust that you can take that shot. Like, we're all role players on the basketball team, right? I can't do everything. So I've got to trust that my teammates are doing their job, so to speak. Not even so to speak, literally. In speaking to that product guy, super intelligent, super empathetic towards our role, he was like, here's what I want you to understand. I want all the information you can give me, but it has to be structured in a certain way. And then what I want you to understand is I am going to prioritize, to your point, JP, because typically you guys are talking to existing customers, or almost exclusively you're talking to existing customers. Understand that unless there is also overlap with the research I'm finding elsewhere, both in market research, but also data from sales and closed lost deals and why those fell out of the funnel, understand that you are often going to be of a lower priority because we already are getting the money from the people you're getting feedback from. We want to try to expand our target market most of the time. And depending on the maturity of the product, we want to expand our target market by prioritizing the feedback that sales is getting and those closed loss deals. I was like, holy shit, that's a great partnership. Thanks so much for being so open about that. Now we can move forward.
I think there's another couple of elements too that come into play, which is the first is this whole telemetry thing, because I feel like for those that have the luxury of having product telemetry, they tend to lean real heavily on that data, which is to say, okay, they're using this, they're not using that, but that obviously is missing a whole bunch of context, where the magic is if you can combine the context and the actual mouth words, which is one of my favorite terms, with the data, that's super gold. And then there's the whole aspect of in-product stuff and who owns that. And for me anyway, that's been a bit of contention here and there, is okay, the in-product and the walkthroughs and all that kind of stuff. Well, okay, who contributes to that? Is that CS? Is that services? Is that product? Is that, it could be any number of those things, but ideally it's a combination of those things.
That's our time, Alex, but I just want to ask one last question. If it's not mouth words, what kind of words are they?
Stupid
ass
words.
Ass words. All right. That's our time, Alex. Thank you so much for joining us on the Daily Stand Up. We hope to see you around.
Thank you for having me. Bye.
Thanks, Alex.
You've been listening to The Daily Stand Up by Lifetime Value. Please note that the views expressed in these conversations are attributed only to those individuals on this recording and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of their respective employers. For all inquiries, please reach out via email to dylan@lifetimevaluemedia.com. Find us on YouTube at Lifetime Value and find us on the socials at Lifetime Value Media. Until next time.
Hey folks, it's Dylan here. Thank you for tuning in as always. Now I've got a favor to ask of you. If you've made it this far, hopefully it means you like what we're doing with our program. So I'm asking you to please give this a like and a follow or a subscribe and leave a comment too. Your likes and your follows and your subscriptions, they allow us to keep doing what we're doing and reach a larger audience. Your comments help us make sure that we're making the best content for you. Best of all, it's free besides a few moments of your time. Thank you again for following along and we'll see you next time.